of corruption is what is on the front page of the Standard today. And there's pictures of two presidents. One is the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. J, what does J stand for again? I need to remember. And then President William Samoei Ruto of the United States on one side and Kenya the other. Okay? A blistering United States trade report has cast the William Ruto-led government as a corruption-riddled market where bribes, opaque procurement and regulatory hurdles lock out fair competition, piling pressure on Kenya as it pursues a high-stakes bilateral deal with Washington. Despite rising trade volumes, the warning signals a hard time from the Trump administration, with sweeping reforms likely to be demanded before any agreement is sealed. And the details of this, you ask, I tell you. According to a national trade estimate report, corruption remains a substantial barrier to trade and investment in Kenya. U.S. firms continue to report challenges competing against foreign firms and that are willing to ignore legal standards or engage in bribery and other forms of corruption. 129 billion shillings is the number that US exports to Kenya, up to 28.5%. 112 billion shillings is what Kenya exports to US, up to 16.5%. But now they're saying, you see this report that we've come out and we found that people are bribing and that people are corrupt. Yep. It could essentially stop this whole thing from happening. Yeah, corruption, double. Yeah.
So you're talking about possibility of losing 112 billion shillings because of corruption.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's about that you deal with if you want to get to some world over there? Holiday dilemma. Parents struggle to keep children engaged and safe. It's going to be 3 weeks of holiday. Children are at home, and I know quite a number of them have come home already, and we're probably seeing the last of them coming home today. So there's a struggle there in terms of how to keep them engaged. Read a book. Let's start there.
Sure.
We could start there. Simple as maybe it sounds like a nonchalant thing, but I'm telling you, the treasure that you find in reading, that you should actually entrench that in children. I don't care who wrote the book. True. Of course, I advocate 100% for African writers first. African literature. I advocate for it all the time because I think that we don't write enough, and that when we do, we should actually take our treasure from that. But do something. They said it, and to an extent it is true, that if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. So because we don't yet read enough, and that affects everything else. So those are some things that we can think about doing with children. Doesn't matter what social class you are in.
True.
Gen Z chooses to save over helping parents. Do you understand? You know how your parents would imagine that as you get a job, whatever, you're going to support them one way or another. Gen Z, according to this survey, have decided what I'm going to do with my money is that I'm going to save it for a rainy day as opposed to supporting you, mommy or daddy. That's what the report says. Trump administration exposes Kenya's rots ahead of trade deals. So is it going to happen? That's the question right now. The First Lady, you've not seen her in a minute.
I did.
She champions prayers as Kenya battles drought and floods and says, this is the way. We pray in State House every Friday. It's called I keep forgetting that word.
Kesha.
Yes, Kesha. Overnight, every weekend. So, she believes that this is going to solve the flooding problem.
I have a lot to say, man.
I know you do.
I have a lot to say.
But, for now, let's just keep the peace,
Okay.
People want you united, Uhuru tells the opposition. He had a word yesterday where Rigathi Gachagua met him, and he had a couple of things to say. You guys need to come together. You can't be split, because what it does is that it splits the vote. Senor. 11 governors snub state summons and a fine 500,000 shillings. Do you know something? If you're fined 500,000 bob and you'd rather pay that money than come and explain to us how you use millions, you're a criminal. You don't want to come and tell people? Because I'm not a politician, I'm not a governor, I'm not a senator, but it makes sense to me that you agreed that the people who are going to oversight you was the Senate. The law says, and then when you signed on the dotted line, you said, fine, these guys will oversight. Now, oversight doesn't mean investigate or prosecute. It means that you just come and tell them how you spent the money. Based on what you tell them, they will now make recommendations, or they will have a report or whatever. You cannot be busy every day. And if you truly have because you have CECs around you, you've spent this money. They've asked you, come and explain what you did, because there is a gap here. I don't care what politics you're involved in. It doesn't matter. All of this doesn't matter. Come and explain how you spent the money, then you come and be going. But if you're hiding, doing this cat and mouse, running around into the gutters of Nairobi, others are chasing you, people's clothes are being torn. Can you imagine? It's embarrassing that people who are county chiefs, number one, refuse to come, would rather pay 500,000 shillings because you didn't come for summons, than actually come and explain what you did. And then you people are saying that you'll vote them again tomorrow. Man, some things just don't make it. To me, some things are clear as day. It is black and white. You gave me 1 billion. I need to come and tell you what I did with it, and it should be seen. Period.
Simple. I don't know why.
I don't understand why we're complicating this thing. Oh, streets, political witch hunting. It is not. It is the law. You spend, you explain. Then you finish explaining. We leave you alone, you go. Why are we politicizing this thing? Why? Another political witch hunt. I don't know, it's a what?
It's a political witch hunt. You know, he grabbed my back in a very strange...
Now look at how they embarrassed themselves yesterday.
I wonder.
What is wrong with us?
You know very well you've been summoned. You've been asked up here to explain how you spent money. All you need to do is show up with the documents, with your receipts, and explain how you spent the money. This thing of going to this council and trying to hide, it does, whether you are a chairperson of that council, you still have to answer to queries on how you spent this money. I reckon it's about time that we perhaps amend the law and say, if you are a governor and is unwilling, we don't even need to impeach you. You automatically impeach yourself from that position. Perhaps maybe then they will take this thing seriously. Because now I show up, I'll pay 500,000 and it's fine.
Imagine.
Yeah.
In order to not, I need to pay 500k.
I'll do that.
No problem.
You'll issue warrant of arrest. I'll disappear for 2 days and just show up.
Man, I don't know. The other day they told me that I lost my cool. It's okay, because I'm wondering, how do you remain happy and just jump, singing Kumbaya around the campfire when things like this are happening?
You shouldn't.
Kenya, this is where your money goes. This is where it goes. And if it goes unexplained, then perhaps there's something else. On the chopping board, why MPs want Wetangula ousted? You might want to look into that. MPs push for urgent collaborative action to stop rising cancer deaths. People have already said that one of the surefire ways to fight cancer is to find it early. You can't do that if you don't have proper screening mechanisms in place. If you find cancer early, there is 80+% chance of you then being able to treat it and come back from it and go into remission solidly.
True.
But in order to have that, screening mechanisms must be available around the country. Whether we are talking about for breast cancer, cervical cancer, and we say those because those are the top 2 in the country, or then now we talk about what we are seeing a lot more of, prostate cancer. And then, of course, you have especially in children, now you have the leukemia, blood cancers and such. So the screening for this is 50% of the prevention.
True.
And I hear what Dr. Nikal's committee is saying here, because if it doesn't happen, then we're going to be looking at more cancer cases.
And I think also we just need to start looking into R&D, research and development on matters to do with cancer, because if you go to developed countries, right, you'd find that they're using advanced medicine, things that are on trial to find solution to these cancers. So what are we doing locally to engineer drugs that one would say responds to our genetic makeup, that would respond to us as a people? Are we thinking in that direction?
Oh, plus I just wanted to let you know as well that the LANIC machine at the Kenyatta National Hospital is not working.